Here's what I want to talk to you about. It's possible for you to take a situation in which you've had success by taking a risk that you hadn't taken before and generalize that process of taking a risk to all kinds of situations in the future. Let me tell you a little story about that exact thing. If you were to go to my website right now and look under testimonials, you would find a testimonial from Matthew Andre. Who's Matthew Andre? He was somebody who read my book a long time ago when it first came out. And in my book are all kinds of suggestions for ways you can do things differently. And one of them is to change around your workspace, because a workspace that looks like it's a place you could really do important things in feels good to you. Matthew told me later, I didn't know this at the time, that he'd read my book, and he said he looked for the one thing that he thought he could do that would be the least scary and have the least effect on his life. He took a day, he moved junk out of a room that was a spare room, has a fire extinguisher hanging on it, that kind of stuff. But he cleared it all out, and he put up a mic stand, and he put up a video camera. And Matthew Andre, I didn't know it then, was a musician who had a big following around Santa Fe. Outside of Santa Fe, he was probably barely known, but he was loved, and he sang these songs. But what he did on the afternoon that he cleared out this space and to create a workspace was he got the mic hooked up, he had the video hooked up, and he decided that he was going to sing a song for his baby 4-month-old daughter, Celine. And his song, Sweet Celine, he recorded it, put it up on YouTube, and YouTube liked it. They promoted it, and when I heard from him, he already had 500,000 hits on that song. Well, all kinds of things began to happen, and he got an offer to come to France with French jazz musicians who were the top of the top and record an album, and he got scared about what could happen. He was already saying, I'm going to do something that creates the least amount of change. And I coached him about how to handle that situation. And he went from that to learning, hold on, wait a minute, if I could do that, why don't I just take a risk on some important other things? And one thing that he did next was Imogen Heap, a British musician who's very, very looked up to for her amazingly creative work, selected him out of a slew of other people to go with her and accompany her on a particular song. And then he got the chance to sing some of his own stuff live on stage between acts with Imogen Heap. He wound up doing a world tour with Imogen Heap. And when I talked to him recently, what he told me he's doing now as a kid from the reservation in Santa Fe is he's going to Harvard and getting his master's degree. Something years ago he would have thought he could never do. Something that was maybe buried as an idea, wouldn't it be cool if? He told me, and in the testimonial, if you look at it, I got goosebumps now just talking about it. He'll say, what I do with my life now is do impossible things that people tell me can't happen. But I do them and I take them on and I master them. He's even got ideas about problems he can solve in the world. He's amazing, and he's living his life by generalizing expectancies that bore fruit in one situation and saying, wow, wait a minute, if I step out in faith and do something, take a risk, put my butt on the line, things can happen. He says now, that's all I do. Is I look for things that I can do that involve risk and opportunity. Guess what? You can do the same thing. I work with people on how to do that all the time, and I get to watch what happens every day. You can do it too. Since you're a high achiever, you may know about this. High achievers often hit a wall. They're going along, they're having one success after another, and then suddenly something happens and they grind to a halt. And it's confusing because they're not sure what it is they've done wrong, if it's anything. They just know that they're not moving anymore the way they're used to moving, the way they have moved in the past. If you've run into like what seems like a ceiling over you, and you're kind of in a fog and you're mystified as to what's getting in your way, you can even kind of slide into a swirl of doubts and wonder if you've ever really achieved anything significant at all, and whether any of your amazing achievements that you've done were anything but kind of fronting or a little bit of a fraud. That is really negative and pernicious, and it doesn't have to be that way. I want you to go get a free report from me. Go to drkenchristian.com/breakthrough and receive from me this free report with action steps that are going to tell you exactly what to do now to get you going.